I receive the absolute privilege of introducing our next two speakers. Let's see, now who introduced me to Drew? Do you remember who introduced me?
Yeah, a young lady, Nancy
Bolson.
Yeah.
Nancy Bolson. About 2 years ago, I was coaching a woman named Nancy Bolson, and she said, oh, you have to meet this guy, Drew, 917 area code, right there.
That's right.
I met Drew over the telephone about 2 years ago. Drew started to bring people to some of my events, and I gave Drew the opportunity to speak on his first carpet on that stage. And when I saw Drew speak, I don't remember anything he said, but I would have bought anything he would have marketed, just because of his energy. Remember that story you told about the Cape, Drew, about going to the parade?
Yeah,
That's
a good story.
So Drew asked me, he goes, what should I share with him today? I said, Drew, tell him a little bit about your story. You know, facts tell, but it's stories that sell. Drew has a remarkable story of what he's gone through to be an entrepreneur, and just realized one of his dreams, buying a dream home. Remember a year ago, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Oh, I don't know, it's $600,000, I should buy it. But what happens if I don't make any money? I go, what happens if you do? Drew is now living his dream. Bought his dream home over in Connecticut. Drew is a father, husband, also an exceptional entrepreneur. Well on his way, this is going to be your first $500,000 year, Drew?
This will be my first
$500,000 year. He's been an entrepreneur for, right, it could be your story.
Yes.
How would $500,000 a year change your life?
Dramatically.
How?
Freedom.
How would it change your life? $500,000 a year, how would it change your life?
Travel, homes,
Where would you travel?
Hawaii again.
Hawaii again. How about the French Riviera? Have you ever liked the French Riviera? You ever see that picture of Mindset Consciousness? On the cover, that's me with a mullet in 1985 in the French Riviera. Dreams can come true, can't they, Drew?
It can happen to you.
Cedric, are they happening for you?
Yes, they are.
Cedric is going to be sharing the stage of some of the greatest speakers in personal development, self-improvement in less than 60 days. Dreams can absolutely come true. Now, Drew has a half an hour with you, and he's going to share a little bit, not only about his story, but what he did to live his dreams. Let's have a standing ovation for Mr. Drew Berman. Yeah, you like that? Okay. Thank you. Drew, you and me are going to go to Mickey Mann's.
I can't wait. All right.
I can't wait.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right, how many of you are here? How many of you are learning something today? All right. How many of you are ready to implement what you're learning today so that you can end 2009 powerfully and have the best 2010 ever? How many of you are ready to have the best year of your lives? You know what's going to happen in 90 days or 75 days? We start a new decade. Yes?
Yes.
You guys ready?
Ready.
Ready to learn?
Ready.
Ready to have some fun?
Yes.
All right. I want to spend some time with you. Is it okay with you if I share with you my story?
Yes.
Yeah? It was a hot sunny day in July in 1972. That's when I was born. Fast forward to high school. Went to Stuyvesant High School in Manhattan. Fast forward, George Washington University in Washington, D.C. In between high school and college, I did what Jeff said is, yes, I did work at Shea Stadium. I was a hot dog vendor. And the best sales training I ever had, you'll like this one, Steve, was I went to, when do pitchers and catchers show up?
February 15th.
February, all right, but not in New York, in Florida. So I show up at an empty stadium. There is nothing emptier than an emptier stadium. And there were 12 or 15 of us. And they didn't give us, and we had a practice going up and down the aisles yelling hot dogs, hot dogs. Now, they didn't even give us a bin. So we had to pretend to an empty stadium with no bin, walking up and down the aisle, screaming hot dogs, holding nothing. That was my training. Well, that was the Dykstra, Carter, Darling years, and we had to show up every day for game time when the Mets came for batting practice. So I have a box of balls of Darryl Strawberry and Dykstra and Gary Carter. It was awesome. Then the Stones came to Shea, Steel Wheels, and I got to work up to Living Color. Then I got to sit front row, 3 concerts, Steel Wheels, in 1988. It was awesome. Then they said, who wants to work at the Garden? I'm like, are you kidding me? It was my summer after high school. I got to see Elton John, Janet Jackson, Knicks playoffs, Rangers playoffs. That was my first entry into sales, and it was awesome. Then after college, I moved to Italy for the summer. I sold leather jackets on a market in Florence. And it was awesome because it was a very aggressive market. So there were old school Italians, 40, 50, 60-year-old people who had done this as a career. They would just work on the market. And it was a market where a lot of tourists would go, and a lot of Americans. And I was sitting there, drinking a Heineken, wearing shorts, and these aggressive Italian men would go out into the market and be like, hello, American girl, I speak English. And I'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? You go to Duke? And, oh, you're a Yankees fan? And boom, I outsold the veterans there, and it was my summer job. And I made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of lira, which is only about 100, 200 bucks a week. But I mean, it was a lot of money for me at that time, and we had a ball. Then I went to college, ponytail, beard, not one career fair. Remember? I didn't go to one career fair, not one resume. And I got my first job selling china, crystal, and cookware to brides. And I would do group presentations for people that were about to get married, and I would sell them for cookware. They were going to make me a partner. I said, no thanks. I went into real estate where I met my girlfriend who became my wife. Made a lot of money in 1988, 1998, 1999. Took the year off in 2000. Rode a bicycle around the world. Did a 35-country bike tour. Did with 200 other people. Went to Thailand, went to Norway. People thought I was crazy. It was awesome. Came back in 2001, and I went to BNI. Who's been to a BNI? What does it stand for? Business Networkers International. A guy came up to me and says, hey man, you're a sharp dude. I'm working with some projects on and offline. I'm looking for some guys like you. Are you open-minded to additional streams of income? He had me at hello. 5 years later, I'm broke because I chased the sizzle, no steak, in Amway. I had one customer for 5 years, my dad. Right? My wife, my dad, my mom, my accountant, and my financial planner, and my best friend, they wanted to have an intervention. But boy, did I learn. I had FF tattooed to my forehead. I had financial freedom from the rooftops. I was screaming, but I was the only one screaming. I was the only one dancing. And everything comes full circle. Last week I wrote a blog. What do Fergie, Oprah, and Drew Berman have in common? Watch this.